A nation divided against itself cannot stand. You tell me who in history spoke those words. It's been spoken several times, probably lots of times at this point. With that being repeated, it's also been spoken, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Tell me who spoke those words. I was talking to somebody who's been watching these videos, and he told me that his grandparents used to be in a card club. Remember stories about card clubs? And he said that they were in the same card club with the same people for a long, long time, probably for decades. And the people in the card club, he remembers hearing that they had opposite political views, but they could still be in this card club and they could still be friends for decades. Okay. So I look at that, and what do I think? I think, so what has changed between then and now? And I'm curious what your answer would be to that. Do you have any thoughts on what could be different from then and now? Because people are so polarized now, and we are afraid to even have conversations with people who have different views with us. So my answer to what has changed from then to now is the media. In my opinion, the news used to be the news, and now the news seems a whole lot like propaganda to me. They're telling some stories, and then and worked into it is very much telling me how I'm supposed to believe, what I'm supposed to think about it. My response to this several years ago was I turned it off. I will not support things. I'm going to do my best not to support things that are to support causes that I don't agree with, okay? I don't agree with that because that's not news, in my opinion, and I'm not going to support it because when I watch that, they're going to get advertising dollars from my eyes being on it, from my TV being on it. It's the same reason I turned off social media several years ago. Here I am, I'm talking. I do use social media for my business. I open it up, I reply to comments, and I turn it off. I don't do any scrolling. I don't want to see any ads because I know the moment I see an ad, I have made money for them, and I don't agree with them and their causes. Now, I don't know how much, we're all in different places with the information we received, what we believe about the information we received, but friends, what I want to talk to you about today is we have a voice and we have to use it. I'm so glad to get an encouraging message this morning shortly after I woke up, because I woke up feeling sick to my stomach because I'm doing this. I've chosen to do this every day. And I think about it and I'm like, why? Why do I feel this way? This is the United States of America, and I am not saying anything out of line. But in all these messages we receive, we hear all of this stuff that's one-sided. And along with those messages, we hear the message, sit down and keep your mouth shut if you don't agree with what all of this is telling us. And that, my friends, is a really good sign of the trouble that we're in. I was just listening to some radio. I've had a few conversations with some people and friends. I am literally terrified for what could happen in our country after this election. And if you're terrified, if you listen to normal stuff on the normal, whatever stuff on regular news stations and what you see on social media and things, we're probably terrified for different reasons. I beg you, I talked about this yesterday and today after these conversations and what I'm hearing, I beg you to turn off the noise, turn it off, TV and whatever. I beg you to look up one or a few news sources on opposite sides. So you can look up conservative and liberal, you can look up left and right, look up one, look up a couple. I mentioned yesterday one of the news that I really like. It's a Christian one. You can look up some of those if you want. Turn off the noise. Turn off the noise. I met a guy on a plane a few years ago who I believe was very smart, and we were talking about the news, and he said to me, it's all a distraction. It's all a distraction from what's really going on they don't want us to know. I agree with that 100%. Friends, we have a voice and we have to use it. So there's a lot of ways we can use our voices. Here's one. I'm talking to people. I'm afraid. I don't know why. Just because, you know. So talk to people. Talk to people online. Talk to people in real life. When that person who you know is going to vote the other way, talk to them about it. Be curious. Ask them why. Ask them to explain their viewpoints. Ask them where they get their information. You can share some. Maybe you'll find some common ground. Maybe one of you will realize, like, oh, maybe I should listen to that news source and see what I hear. I am begging you to listen to news on different sides and start to use your mind to decide what you think, instead of just hearing common stuff that's thrown our way and not knowing what to think. I've gathered from some of you who I've been talking to, there's a lot of people who don't know how they're going to vote, if they're going to vote, and that don't really want to vote for either one. I believe if we were all searching for our information and searching in more places and listening to all of it, I believe that number would be far fewer. I don't believe our election would be even close if we were all searching for our information in different places. So we can use our voice by talking out loud. We can use our voice by what we watch. Okay? By the things we watch and consume. News, social media, what sites we're using. When I asked you to search for different news, if you don't want to do it on TV, depending on what TV service you have or whatever, you can do it on your phone. It's so easy. Get in the App Store and search for different types of news. In 10 minutes, you could download several news sources and scroll through their headlines. In 10 minutes, you can do this. In 10 minutes a day, you can have a pretty good idea. I know you're busy. I know you're busy, friends. And I believe the things going on in our homes that are keeping us away from this, our families are falling apart, our kids are having problems, our marriages are, like I think all of that is a distraction too, to keep us from paying attention to what's going on. But this is important. It's important, just like me dumping 25,000 pounds of corn into this semi-trailer right now. It's important and we have to make time for it. I am not sure I'm very good at multitasking. So, nope, I'm definitely not. Just proved that. Got some corn falling out. Friends, we have minds for a reason and we have to use them. We have to use our voices when it comes to what we're watching, when it comes to what we're talking about, what we're sharing. Y'all keeping quiet out there? Stop it. We need you. We need people who care about this country to speak up. When our nation's founders wanted to be freed from British rule, from unfair taxation, and they had to worship the way they told them to, and all these things, did they just sit quietly in their houses and wait to be told what to do next? They didn't. We have been given the privilege of free speech, freedom of worship, all the freedoms. Do we even know what they are? Do we even care enough to know what they all are? Friends, one of the news stories I was just listening, I know some of this stuff is on the news and it's the regular news, and that's all a distraction in my opinion, but like, there are stories on the news that we could lose our democracy soon, depending on the results of this election. please do me a favor. Look up news on various sites and use your mind and decide what to do, okay? What else can we do from here? I've recommended some books. If You Can Keep It by Eric Metaxas is fantastic. It motivated me to start doing what I'm doing right now, even though, once again, I'm scared to death. Here I am, killing it. There's some movies. There's a movie series. One of the series is in theaters right now. The series is called God's Not Dead. The one in theaters right now is called In God We Trust. Regardless of whether you are a person of faith or not, we need to realize that our country was founded by people of very, very strong faith. And the morals and values built into our Constitution that protects all those freedoms I was just referring to, those morals and values come from Christianity and belief in the God of the Bible. We need to recognize this, whether it's something we agree with personally or not. If the values that I'm supposed to be looking for a train right now. I have to cross a train track and I can't see past this giant bush because we're on private land. There's no like crossing. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. Thank you for bearing with me for a moment. If we lose those freedoms, they will not come back. So what can we do? I just gave you a few things to go look at, listen to, watch, just to help you re-inspire about who we are as a people. Our history is unbelievable. In my opinion and that of many people, the fact that this country ever came to exist and has lasted this long through tough times seems like a whole lot of miracles to me. Why has our nation been so blessed? In my opinion and that of a lot of people like me, it's because we look to God as we were forming our nation. We will talk about these beliefs more in the future.
This thing's a little heavier on the other side.
We will not talk about these beliefs all the time.
It's cleaner, unless it's got the wind there, but...
But I really encourage you to join in with me. I'm going to try and do this every day at noon. I'm not going to do it on Sundays. I haven't decided exactly. I'll probably do it on Saturdays.
That's 24 now.
But if you believe that what I'm talking about is important and more people need to see it, I need you to share it with people because this isn't popular. There are things that'll spread like wildfire on social media. This isn't it. I need you to help it happen. Like, comment, share, send it to your friends in text messages, emails, whatever. We have got to figure out how to work together and keep this great nation what it is or was. We fall a little off track, I think, but we can get it back, friends. I appreciate you. Oh, heavens to Betsy, this is a lot. It's hard enough for me to talk while I'm just talking, sitting in my kitchen. And now here we are. Trying not to hit equipment. And okay, so for those of you who are here and watching along, I'll give you a short spiel about what's happening. We're doing seed corn harvest. I'm up in the great state of Michigan right now. We live in Indiana, but we're in Michigan right now. Way up north at one of the northern fields. This is seed corn. It is picked whole on the ears, so this is different than the corn raised in much of the country. This is the corn. It's called seed corn because it's the seed that farmers will be planting in their fields next year. It's harvested on the ear because it protects it, protects those kernels. It will be taken to the plant, dried on the ear, and after it's dry, then they shell it, and then they take the kernels off the ear, and that just helps to preserve those seeds and not scratch them up and not damage them so that there's the best chance that they will germinate next year in the fields. So So that's what I got. Thanks for being here. I hope you'll be here again. Bye, everybody.